Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, or it could even be a good Wednesday for you. We're back again with the vidIQ Tuesday channel audit live stream. As always, let's do this.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com.
Hello everybody, welcome to vidIQ, the YouTube tool and channel that aims to educate you on your YouTube journey. If this is your first time here, I am your host Rob, welcoming you to the channel. Not only do we have a channel where we give you all sorts of tips, tricks and advice, including the channel audits we will do today, but we have an amazing vidIQ YouTube tool that will help you research YouTube, analyze your videos and every single video on YouTube, audit your own channel and take actionable steps that will help grow your channel. There is a link in the video description along with a link which will let you fill out a form and your channel could get audited today. I, as ever, would not be able to do this live stream without the support of the awesome vidIQ team, and I am joined by the original fellow channel auditor, Jeremy Vest, in the house. It's been a couple of weeks since you were on the show. You've been very busy, I know, preparing for VidCon, which we might talk about a little bit later on. But yeah, Jeremy, welcome to you and all of the vidIQ audience. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent.
And we are going to also welcome the following people in the live stream, which include Weirdo Plays, Technique Collins, Skylar the Creator, Live Accessible, Captain Mario Dude, and Rabid Fish. And as soon as I start to welcome people, the chat goes absolutely insane, and at which point I pass it over to Jeremy to try and say some more usernames.
All right. Freedom using Farm and Arbor. Okay. Blackie K-pop, Art, Strong, Elasticity, Life by Ashley. Thank you for everything you do. Generic Waffle, the best name in the entire chat.
Brilliant. Love that username.
All right. Rigan Yamis, Aqua Grunt, Bill and Rosa Off Grid, Aiden, Trevor, and I'm out of breath.
And I'm going to try and introduce some sound effects in this live stream because Travis, our fellow video creator here at vidIQ, has told me that when he does live streams, the audience gets even more interactive and engaged. So I just want to say thank you to the super chat that we just had from Angel Dominique. Yes, there we are. That's the ka-ching noise. Just sending us $10 there and telling me to make sure I have my Dr. Pepper ready today. I think that must have been... I did a live stream with her about a year ago, and we must have talked about favourite drinks. I don't have a Dr. Pepper today, but I do have a little bit of orange juice, which I may unfortunately run out of soon in this live stream. So I may disappear to fill that up and let Jeremy take charge at that point. But we'll leave that till a little bit later. All right, let's get on to the meat and drink of this live stream. What we do every single Tuesday here is we audit your channels, and by that Jeremy and I take a look and we give you advice, strategies, thumbnail techniques, keyword research, anything that will help better serve your content to the right audience. And I'm just going to press a button here which will bring up a checklist, which is the following on how to get your channel audited. There is a form in the video description. Fill it out, click it, and there's three fields, I think. I always recommend to people that they join the live stream about an hour or so before just to fill out the form, because I start to look at the beginning of a list and then I go through in a more random order, but not first come first serve, but you do have a better opportunity. Also, I'm going to have to do another sound effect here for Magic Marvelous YT, who just sent us $1 Canadian. Thank you for that. Do not ask for a channel audit in the live stream chat because you will be ignored and you may be put in timeout. Jeremy and I do not have a chance to look at the live stream chat while we're auditing, but our moderators that include Travis, this bites for you, will be taking a look at your chat and contributing. Super chats, while welcome, do not guarantee you a review. So thank you for the super chat so far, but please do not use that to try and get your channel audited because we don't want to create a financial barrier. Apologies in advance if we do not audit your channel today. Jeremy, I always play this little game with you. How many submissions do you think we've already had for channel audits today?
I would probably say in the 80s already.
134. Jeremy
Wow.
always underestimates, so thank you for the submissions so far. We'll try and get through as many as we can. If we are not able to audit your channel today, what we do have is a fantastic tool which looks something like this. Let me just click the right screen. Yeah, it looks a little bit like this. Down the left hand side, there's a channel audit tool, which is there if you download the vidIQ Chrome extension, and it gives you a snapshot of your channel. You know the new YouTube analytics, which has that dashboard? Well, this is a dashboard on steroids. Tells you how your channel's doing, which videos are performing really well in all sorts of categories, including views per hour, subscribers gained, playlist watch time. It also tells you what search terms are bringing in traffic for your content, what videos you shouldn't be working on anymore because they don't work on your channel. For example, lowest watch time, lowest ratios. And then this awesome little section down here, which I always forget to fix, telling me that I've not added 6 videos to playlist and I need 12 end screens to fix on my videos. Wow, I am really lacking on that. But at least vidIQ's telling me to do it. I just need to take action on those tools. And I think this is like the brainchild of Jeremy, something that we're all very proud of. We call it one of the most powerful video marketing tools on the platform, beyond personal advice and suggestions that we can give you in a live stream. And Jeremy, I always pass it over to you at this point because you're going to tell us why you should still watch this live stream even if you don't get the privileged chance to have your channel audited.
Yeah, with already over 130 submissions, odds are you probably won't get your channel audited. However, you can make this very beneficial for yourself. And, we like to say we're trying to teach you how to fish here. It's not just about us auditing your channel. It's about learning how we do this audit process so you can apply that and take that to your own channel. I would even argue that if you take these philosophies and principles that we're doing in our audits and you apply it to your channel, it'll actually be more beneficial because you'll be able to internalize it. And from the learning model, it will actually do better for you. So take what we're doing, apply it to your channel, and please don't complain that we're not getting to everyone's channel.
Yeah, we have been doing this. Jeremy and I have been doing this for a year and a half now. We've probably audited in the region of 500 to 750 channels. I don't know. I could be completely wrong with that guesstimate.
A billion, I think.
But we've audited 1 billion channels, and we still have 7 billion to go. All right, I'm just going to press some buttons here, which means that Jeremy may go off screen, or you'll see his beautiful profile picture as I share my screen with Jeremy. Yeah, you got your headshot on there now, Jeremy, and I'll just click that button.
Don't scare the kids.
Can you see my screen now, just to confirm?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to press my audit button, which does a lovely little transition here. And the first channel we're going to look at today for the vidIQ Tuesday channel audits is Jessica Spears, a family and healthy living channel with 1,000 subscribers. Jeremy, what are your first impressions of this? And I should also stress as well that every time we look at a channel, we're giving you our first impressions, and that's how the majority of your viewers will see that. So if it's better able to communicate to us what the channel's about, it'll do the same thing for your viewers. And sometimes we get it a little bit wrong, but maybe that's maybe a fault in the communication of the channel and what it's saying. But Jeremy, what do you think this channel is saying to the potential audience?
I would say healthy snacks, things like that. It definitely looks professional to me.
I think, yeah, the channel banner in particular looks spectacular.
The
Absolutely.
Colors and photography and Photoshop and everything look pretty professional. I do like that she is the main focus in most of the thumbnails. I like the fact that she's using a lot of arrows. They work quite well.
Yeah.
So all in all, I have a good impression of the channel. I feel like it's a thing that might not waste my time, with almost 500 hours uploaded every minute on YouTube. There's a lot of black holes of time waste that you can go down. So subconsciously, when it looks like the type of content you want to consume and it looks professional in the thumbnails and banner, then people are going to be more likely to click it. So I'd say well done there, and congratulations on getting 1,000 subscribers. That's no easy task. The only kind of few things I would say from the thumbnails perspective is just have more consistency in your typography and your fonts and in your colors. I would just be more consistent, and maybe your faces should even be a little bigger so that people can see your emotion, eyes, and excitement, so that they can subconsciously connect to you more. Nonverbal communication is actually greater than verbal communication, and those little subtle things like the whites of someone's eyes are unbelievably important in things like thumbnails.
I'm just looking at this one in the bottom corner, Jeremy. I think this is like a classic example, isn't it? Where
great.
Really, do you need a text here? Because what I would be thinking is you zoom the hero in more, so this area is covering like the whole half of the screen, because the hair in the comb communicates way more the idea of hair loss than any text that could be in there. I mean, you could include natural solutions maybe, but a bit of like
I would have
repetition.
zero text here, a big arrow going to the hair and make the hair in your face a lot bigger. It's going to be more pronounced. Also, what you're trying to do with a thumbnail, a lot of people don't understand this, is you're trying to get people to stop scrolling and then look at your title.
Yeah.
So repeating what's in your title is really not a good idea. What you're trying to do is get someone's attention so that they'll read your title, and the combination effect of a scroll stopping thumbnail. I think I just made that up.
Scroll stopping thumbnails. That's a new tool coming out on vidIQ next week.
Can really be beneficial. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this video creator does need to maybe test and embrace the idea of just dumping text completely on a few thumbnails and seeing how that works. Another one I look at here is like this one here with a beautiful picture of a bowl, but your eyes are drawn to the text, which is basically in the title, and maybe one word or an icon or a symbol would better communicate that thumbnail. One last thing I wanted to touch on, Jeremy, here was perhaps the strategy in terms of the content, because what I see here is a bit of spiky view counts. It looks to me like when the video creator is talking about diets in particular, or perhaps I think like this hair one in particular, they get over 1,000 views, and then these haul ones maybe aren't doing as well, a few hundred views. One here about depression and anxiety that only got 200 views. So do you think there's a point here? I mean, the channel still.
What am I going to tell you to do now?
Do some searches on YouTube?
No, sort by most popular.
Oh, God, I've completely forgotten that strategy. Wow. Wow, I need to wake up there. You're absolutely right. Yeah, so this is something that we will do when we see spiky view counts. We may sort by most popular, and it will immediately give you an idea of what's performing really well on the channel. So there's no real breakout piece of content except for this one about a blender. But food ones seem to generally do well. And then there's ones about skin. So there does tend to be, there is one here about Costco haul which did well. So I think it looks as if a video creator, as a relatively small channel, is still testing the waters in each of these areas. What do you think about this? It seems like the video creators are making the right choices, but they haven't quite set on where they're going to be going as a series of videos in the future.
I think it's really important and very healthy to test various types of content.
That is true, yeah.
For your channel. I think it's very, very important, because you never know if vidIQ, if we didn't test weird content at least 10, 15, 20% of the time, we would probably be 3 or 4 times smaller than we are now. I would imagine.
That is true. That is very true.
If we didn't test thumbnails, if we didn't test titles, if we didn't test various trends, and if we didn't do that, I just feel like we would not be half of what we are today. So it is very important. My personal suggestion, based on my knowledge of how the YouTube algorithm and AI works, is to really become a thought leader on a specific genre. So just cleaning, or just hauls, or just diets, and then go 2 inches wide and a mile deep into that content. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to send signals to YouTube of what your channel's about, and then it's going to send signals to people subscribing to what they expect from your channel. If they come to your channel and one day you're talking about skateboarding and the next day you're talking about motivational speeches, a lot of people are going to unsubscribe because they don't get it, right? Some people may not care about how to get pregnant, and then some people may not care about diets, but they may like hauls. So the more you split up your content, the less likely you'll be successful long-term on YouTube, in my opinion.
Yeah, so maybe an idea, two potential ideas for the video creator might be test removing text from thumbnails, and maybe the next video that gets, I don't know, maybe over 1,000 views. That seems to be like I'd say the trigger point for a good benchmark is, okay, for the next month, I'm going to do more videos on that topic and just see if the momentum builds on that particular topic. And maybe it doesn't, and then you pivot to something else for a month. But what I see here is maybe a channel subscribes because they liked something about anti-inflammatory diets 2 months ago, and then when is the next food about maybe healthy food? You're looking at maybe this one, road trip snacks. So there's this potentially like a 6-week gap between the content that the viewers subscribe for the next one. So yeah, maybe series might be a good one there. But I think this is a really good channel, isn't it, to look at, Jeremy, where it's got a lot of good things, foundations in place, and then there's a few tweaks here and there that can see the next growth spurt in their channel. So,
I think this is a potential 100,000 subscriber channel.
Yep.
And I don't make those predictions lightly or easily. I really believe this. The kind of 3 things I would do to make this a 100,000 subscriber channel is I would focus on what is working the best and what you have the most passion. I call this matching passion with intent. So what you really care about helping or entertaining the world with, matching that with the intent of search that people are asking for. So I'd really niche down, get that 2 inches wide and a mile deep in a specific topic or genre of content. I would, go all in on testing your thumbnails and try to make them a lot more appealing and engaging, colorful and sharp, crisp, and emotionally engaging, taking off a lot of that text. And then what would be the third thing, Rob?
Well, I was just thinking, as you start to talk about the thumbnails, I think a person who does really good thumbnails in this sort of area is Amy Landino.
She does.
If you look at the thumbnails here, there is sometimes some text in there, a little less, and maybe we're looking at this thinking, I didn't realize she used as much text as she does now, but you can see very clearly who the hero is in each of these videos, and she's pivoted a couple of times on her channel, but has really nailed down who her audience is. And I'm not necessarily saying that Jessica Spears' video is similar, but I was just, in terms of the thumbnail presentation, that seemed to be what the strongest area was. And I think if I was going to say one more thing about Jessica Spears' channel is, I'm going to check the community tab, and I'm going to see that you do use your community tab. Well, look at some of these images here. Look at
Very
how
nice.
the high quality ones. I mean, some of these could be thumbnails in themselves almost.
Yeah, those would be amazing thumbnails in my opinion.
Yeah, like if you just cropped this thumbnail here with you in the background and the baby in the foreground, that's like a really striking one to me, with no text. And I don't know what the title would be, but it's a really interesting potential video there. And I was just going to say, yeah, use the community tab a little bit more. He seems to be posting very sporadically, and it's a great way to engage with your audience when you don't have content coming out on a very regular basis. All right, I'm going to give this channel a big thumbs up and the ding of a bell there, and we will move to the next channel here, which is, okay, let's try and pronounce the channel name of this one. Mirazukage. Miruzukage. We're going to call this channel M from now on to help us. Jeremy, I'm going to push this one to you again because it's an anime and a games channel. So 2 cultures and phenomena which may merge in some aspects. You have experience on animation channels in the past. How do you think this one fares in this hugely competitive market on YouTube?
Well, one thing I would say is, if you want to really just study, and my philosophies on anime channels, I did the strategy for Funimation, a YouTube channel with 2.5 million subscribers. You may want to just kind of look at the thumbnails and some of the strategies there. I would say all in all, you do a very good job with the size of the faces. The whites of the eyes for even animation is very important from a subconscious perspective.
Yeah.
So I would actually, the very, very top thumbnails, I'm not a big fan of, but the ones on the second line, I really like a lot. And the reason I'm not a big fan of the last few from a week ago is that they're just too busy, in my opinion. I really don't know what to look at. So having 2 characters, maybe 3 at the most, usually seems to have higher click-through rates based on some data that we have. So I would really just focus on maybe 1 or 2 characters at a time, and just don't get too busy on your thumbnails, because I think that's actually a detriment to your click-through rates. One thing I would have you do is go into the new Creator Studio beta and look at your click-through rates on your last videos versus some of your others. See what you can click show more in the main analytics page, and you can actually see all of your videos click-through rates together, and you can sort by click-through rate. So look and see what you've done. So many types of thumbnails. Go see what has the highest click-through rates, and then keep that as a steady, philosophy for all of your thumbnails moving forward.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question here to the channel M. If you were to choose anime or gaming, which would you choose to take forward on your channel? And the reason I ask this is because if I just look at some very basic information, you covered E3, and each of these videos here got over 1,000 views. Then I look at the most recent anime ones, and I'm seeing 200 views, 100 views, 400 views. So that suggests to me, from a very broad perspective, that people tend to prefer your gaming content on here. If I scroll down a little further, however, I found a range of videos here which looked to be on anime, where you were getting 2,000 views, even one with 14,000 views. So I think there may be a decision here that you have to make in terms of, do you split your channel into 2, or do you have a gaming video per week and an anime video per week? Because again, I think along with Jessica Spears, people may be subscribing for a certain type of content, and then you don't revisit that topic for weeks, potentially months. And I think that's going to be a big question for you in the future. Jeremy, thinking along the lines of like two big topics here, and how much 2 inches wide, a mile deep type of focus you think this channel has?
Yeah, I would say that the one thing I would say, what would I ask you to do next, is sort by most popular.
Yeah.
So that I can kind of see what's working the best on the channel. It does look like, and it was no surprise to me that a lot of the anime stuff is the best.
Yeah, traditionally, it looks as if a few months ago. So what happened here? Like some really good reaction videos and really popular.
Yeah, I would just say that when you win on something, when something has more views than you have subscribers, or like this one that has 355,000 views 6 months ago, I would keep on trying to do that type of content. It does seem like you've done some of it, but for some reason YouTube gets to a point to where they preference your content on a subject, so you just want to keep on feeding that YouTube algorithm. And there are a lot of times where, let's say one video gets 300,000 views, the next one may get 60,000, so it may not be huge as the first one, but it does seem to work that way. So I would personally focus on the types of anime that are working the best for you. You could venture into anime games. So, but that would be as far as I would get. I would not just do E3 and other games and this and anime, but if there's an anime game, that totally makes sense. As long as you can put everything you do on your channel in one bucket, it makes sense. Now, another thing I'll say, moving forward, as you grow as a person and have different stages in your life, you may start talking about your toddler stuff because you just had a baby, and then you go into anime, and then you go into gaming. It's cool and natural to change focuses on a channel over 10, 15 years. And that's fine, but it will come with consequences. So the more focused you can be, the more that YouTube is going to think you're the perceived thought leader on that topic.
I just did a quick Control F find here for Gintama. Apologies if I pronounced the anime wrong, but it looks as if this video creator did double down on that particular anime. And in the top maybe 25 videos, that topic features 6 or 7 times. So I think you were certainly onto something here, and you did one here 3 weeks ago. I'm just wondering, I know this sounds crazy, and I'm actually doing a sort of a long form video about this at the moment, and I think people have a problem of a worry about being pigeonholed into a certain topic on YouTube. And my response to that sometimes is, so you don't want success by being the master or the authority on a particular topic. And my experience has always told me that if you find something that really resonates with YouTube and it sends a positive signals and they continue to share their content, I would continue to use that as your main flagship, your main megaphone on YouTube. And as Jeremy said, there's nothing wrong with testing out different content because you want to find other avenues as well. But let's say you do have a lot of success with this Gintama style video. You could make maybe 60 to 80% of your content on that topic and bring in a big audience from that, and then the other 20% of your content is experimentation and saying, hey, I'm also into a bit of gaming, or I'm also into this anime as well, as a thought. Now again, you may have really ran this topic dry and you've done everything you can. I would always argue there are always 100, 200 ways to look at a particular topic on YouTube. Believe you me, I've done that with some of the craziest topics on YouTube. But yeah, gaming, anime, a particular type of anime, this channel's had some success, and I think just focusing down even more will lead to more success in those areas. So that is Channel M, I'm calling them. I also got another super chat here, which I saw earlier on, which was from Gaming with Leonard. That was 99 cents from you. Thank you. Move on to the next channel now. And Jeremy, I'm choosing this one, Auto Salvage Outlaws, because I always like to pick channels which seem completely new to us as auditors and maybe a niche area of YouTube. So if we look at Auto Salvage Outlaws, a channel with just over 100 subscribers, congratulations to you on that. And you haven't done that many videos. It looks as if you started to get more serious about YouTube in the last month. What do you think we could suggest here to the channel to start to move to the next level and build an audience and get more people clicking on their videos?
Yeah, the first I would say is just on the banner art itself. Yeah. Just make it to where people can see your logo and maybe the mission. So the biggest thing people, I think, fundamentally mess up on their channel is the what and why. So what is your channel about and why does that matter? So it would be really nice to have something like auto salvage, do it yourself, or whatever this channel is about, body repair.
Finding value in the broken. That's my value proposition. How do you like that, folks?
I like it.
There we go.
Pretty good. Pretty deep. So the first thing I would say is just make sure everyone that comes to your channel page actually knows what you are and why that matters to them. And then the next thing I would say is, as you're doing more and more content, you are getting better. It's clear that you're not doing vertical videos, your thumbnails are getting better every week. So the biggest thing I would say for most creators, and most creators can't really think this way for some reason, I think it's just human nature, but get 1% better every week. If you can make that as your mission and you can understand your audience better once a week, you can understand the search intent of what people are searching for 1% better every week. Eventually, maybe 500 weeks from now, you're going to be really good at this.
Well, that's 10 years, Jeremy.
Maybe it's 10 weeks from now. Who knows? My point is, if you consistently say every week, I'm going to get a little better at lighting or audio or a little better at thumbnails, you're going to progress, or understanding what your audience wants. And this particular thing, the Mustang getting painted, you may have wanted to do something like how to paint a 2004 Ford Mustang. And
then maybe having a thumbnail, what color ? As a sort of like a teaser. So the title gets the search intent, and then the thumbnail is like the intriguing reason to click. Like the reason I put magnifying on this one is because Mustang is getting painted today, and I can see that it's an orange. Looks like an orange color to me, probably under the undercoat, and that intrigues me. The problem is that the thumbnail it's under it's in a garage, so the shadings doesn't look quite right. Maybe if it was out in the open, so it was a brighter orange, and it was zoomed in, so we were just maybe seeing like the headlight and maybe the wheel arch, and then like an orange color on the bonnet. So you could see that it was a Mustang, but you could kind of see maybe what color it was. And I like the idea that you're including some intrigue in the title as well. What color do you think the stripes will be? I think that's always something that helps a viewer potentially click on the video because it creates intrigue, and the only way to answer that question is by clicking on the video. The other thing I was just thinking about here, Jeremy, was potentially search intent. We've got some search terms here like auto salvage outlaws, update on Mustang rebuild, free nuggets, pulling out a Volkswagen transmission. What type of search terms do you think would maybe collectively bundle this all together into salvage and discovery of repairing of items that appear to be broken?
Unfortunately, I think it's really the intent is going to be based on the car.
Right, okay.
So I think it would be a series of 20 or 30 videos on the 2005 Ford Mustang.
Yeah.
How to DIY 2005 Ford Mustang, replace engine, pull engine, paint.
Just doing a quick search here to see if I could find any perhaps common keywords that are used.
Yeah, the problem is it's really intent on like you're not going to just search for a car, you're going to search for like a specific make and model and year. Right, so that's kind of the problem fundamentally with salvage.
Yeah, I'm just trying to wonder if there's a thing on salvage experts, like, what's the because some people go through dumpsters to recover things from there, and there's a phrase for it, and I'm trying to remember what it's dumpster. I can't remember. If somebody knows what that term is in the chat, do let us know. But I was just wondering if it was a similar one for
barn finds are typically in cars.
Yeah.
Things like that. But I mean, I'm sure there's a few terms, but I think the biggest terms would actually be around the car themselves.
The car itself, yeah.
Because you're a Mustang guy or Camaro guy. It's like liking a soccer team. You're either this team or that team. It's not like all of soccer normally.
Yeah. Okay, so Auto Salvage Outlaws, we wish you the best of luck with your future endeavours, and congratulations on 100 subscribers. And we'll move on now to this channel, which was another intriguing one I found when looking through the channels. Slick Six Guns Network, educational videos on the Western shooting sports every Thursday. This seems like a super niche channel, Jeremy, with already 400 subscribers, which is pretty good. So can you help inform the viewers here in the live stream what is going on with this channel? Looks really interesting.
Yeah, I would say this is like cowboy life. I live in Texas, so this is not uncommon for me. There's a cowboy church a few miles down from my house where people ride in on their horses to church on Sundays.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of neat. It's probably about 15 miles from me, but still it's pretty neat. But there's a lot of people that are just into the culture and guns and, philosophies of cowboy life. I have friends that actually do like campouts and they cook with like the old school stoves and stuff. So there's actually a big subculture in this whole, philosophy.
Mm.
So this is clearly gun focused, talking about basically, cowboy guns, cowboy revolvers, 6-shooters, things like that. So the question I have is the overall topic being talked about in every video as far as keywords go?
Yes. So each of the keywords on the title looks to be the particular revolver, whether it be an Umberti 1872 or a 45 Colt. I'm wondering, I guess, what's the potential problem? And it's not really a problem, but these are, I think, if you were perhaps in a school library, or you were maybe doing research for a school project, I think this is the type of content you would want to find, but perhaps if you were a bit more casual about this and you just had a personal interest in this content, it might be more difficult to connect with the content. Do you see where I'm coming from here, Jeremy? Maybe that it's a little too formulaic, a little too educational in one sense, and it does have that. Again, I don't want to say clickbaity, but a desire to click on something specifically rather than to do it for research purposes.
Yeah, it's like, for example, cowboy action shooting, the women in SASS. You might even want to say like, are there cowboy women or something like that, that shoot guns or something. And the perfect title has a reason to click and the search intent of what people are searching for in that title, right? So without doing research, I really wouldn't know what that intent was. But I do think you're right in the fact that there should always be a reason to click.
Yeah, just for example, just looking at this thumbnail here, it's the gun is completely dismantled. That's what it looks like there. We've got a cowboy with a sort of the YouTube thinking face here, and it almost feels as if this video creator doesn't know whether to stick or twist. What type of thumbnail should it be? I'm going to just include all three of these elements, which are a little disconnected from each other, and hopefully that will be enough to convince somebody to click on the video. I guess what we'd be saying here is maybe you take one, like just the cartridge from the gun, or like a real close-up of the finished gun, because it looks as if you may have a bit of a studio to take the pictures there. And then each of these are quite similar as well in terms of maybe looking a bit like of thumbnail wallpaper and disassembly of a Ruger New Vaquero, but you've again repeated that in the title. So do you need the text in the title? I think we've said this before, Jeremy. It's like busy content here, isn't it, in terms of convincing somebody to click on it?
Yeah, and cowboy guns is actually a pretty big intent. So maybe you just tie it all together with having the term cowboy and the term guns in every title.
Let's just do a quick search for that and see what comes up.
And then you could put the types of cowboy guns and things like that.
Yeah, so I mean, for example, I think that this thumbnail here is quite an effective one with several guns on there. I like this sort of action shot here, even though it's about Nerf. I'm sure Nerf guns were around in the Wild West, but I think the intent of the thumbnail is very effective in that one.
It is. I would be careful though with action shots and guns, because YouTube is a big hater of guns.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're personally a hater of guns, but it's just like they're trying to be advertiser friendly, so they're scared. So I do know a family, a Nerf channel family, that's got just destroyed in the last
really?
few weeks or a few months rather for, YouTube just always flagging their content is inappropriate. So you just have to be careful. I would never have a gun pointed at someone or anything like that, because you will probably be removed from YouTube. Okay.
But I think in each of these, a lot of these thumbnails, we're seeing like a close-up of one particular gun and it has more of an impact, I would say.
Yeah, that
speaking.
one with the yellow was amazing.
Sorry, which one was it? The
one at the very top. Yeah,
look at
here, that.
Yeah,
because it has the person, it has action, and it has the gun. It's not pointing at anyone, and it has great color in the background. That's a phenomenal thumbnail.
Yeah,
and that video had like 931,000 views.
It did, yeah. So I think that there's good potential here to become quite an authority in this niche. So it's perhaps connecting like an overarching keyword and thumbnail tweaks, which will help you there. Slick Six Guns, thank you for submitting your channel for auditing. The next one we are gonna look at is Bill and Rosa off grid, and I always find these channels a little amusing in the terms that they're off grid but still connected to the internet in order to upload their YouTube videos. 10,000 subscribers for this channel, so congratulations on a big audience that you've built up here.
Actually, can I just tell you, you're wrong. They're off grid, meaning they don't have like external power sources, but they have their own power. So that's okay.
I know. I'm just being
No,
I'm
it's not
attempting to be
allowed,
funny.
Rob.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay, so a channel with 10,000 subscribers. What can we say about this channel here? Because it looks as if we've got a big audience, Jeremy, but we're not necessarily getting the views. Looking at the hundreds here we occasionally have, and sometimes thousands. It looks as if they've dropped off very
Let's
recently.
sort by how did they get these? My guess is they got these 10,000 subscribers by like 4 videos or less. That's my guess.
So we have 2 here over 100,000. So they may have got quite a significant number of subscribers from there. And these are videos from a long time ago. Actually, it's you've been on YouTube for a while. It looks as if you've been jumping in and out of the YouTube universe. So 5 years ago, you had some successful videos, and maybe you took a break. So maybe you need to look at the history there.
Yeah, it definitely seems, 5 years ago, there's a lot less competition on YouTube, a lot less people talking about off-grid living and things like that. So in this case, I would not suggest necessarily doubling down on what you were most successful on, because that was a long time ago. I would test it, but I wouldn't think that you'd necessarily do super well now.
And then just looking at the thumbnails and the titles of the most recent videos, I think there's a disconnect between your value proposition of your channel, which we can see in the channel banner, but then in terms of your thumbnails, like breaded keto salami patties. Does that mean you're a keto diet channel or an off-grid channel? And I know you have this in the channel banner, but maybe if I watched just a singular video, I would think that your channel's about something entirely different. And another one here about we need your help, which actually got this one looks as almost like maybe a community video. It's got 2,000 views, which seems really good. You have one here with off-grid cabin. So that's the key. I think the main keyword of your channel included there. Then drive away work fighting for the rain and muddy mess. I'm just losing the message. I think isn't strong enough in some of these thumbnails, along with the red font text. Of course, I would say we're never a fan of that, and it very rarely works, as we can see in many, like this one here. I can't really read the text in this one at all, Jeremy. Do you know where I'm going here with perhaps the messaging on the channel?
Yeah, I think that there probably is a way to be like talking about a lot of different things if you had a overall arching theme. So, for example, I helped a channel last year that talked all about ranching and farming. So ranching and farming was in every title. So they could talk about gardening, because that's part of ranching and farming, right? Gardening is part of farming. So their overall theme fit the need of that, right? So I would say that you can talk about as much as you can put something in, like a parameter. So off-grid living would, to me, be about building a house and solar power, maybe gardening, self-sustainability, canning. There's a lot of things. So I could see the salmon keto patties being part of off-grid living, but it would have to be part of that bigger theme, and that theme would have to be part of the title and maybe even the thumbnail. Does that make sense, Rob?
Yeah, it does. So, for example, this one, how could we make breaded keto salami patties part of the off-grid theme? And it might be, I don't know.
Well, it might be like self-sustainability, making your own salmon patties.
There you go. Off-grid self-sustainability, the keto salami patty, or something potentially on those lines. So I hope we've given you some pointers, Bill and Rosa. If you are currently on the grid and watching this live stream, so my off-the-grid jokes are truly terrible. So we'll move swiftly on to Edgar Martinez. And this
Hey,
channel,
hold on. First, Travis is
Yeah.
making fun of you saying salami when it's salmon. So I just wanted to say thank you, Travis. I appreciate it.
what? Sorry, what? Where's this? Was that my
You were
mistake?
saying salami and it was salmon.
Oh, was it salmon? Yeah, sorry.
Travis called you out, so I just want to appreciate
Travis,
that.
I will get you back on Thursday. Right, we're looking at Edgar Martinez on this one, which it looks to be a channel which is dedicated entirely solely to Ryobi tools, if I've pronounced that right. And so this is a channel which is really niched down onto one particular product. And when I look at the subscriber count, just over 2,000 versus the view counts, some are in like the tens of thousands, or almost all of them are in the thousands.
So I think it's interesting. Last week I purchased a Ryobi weed eater, and I saw this channel. I
Really?
actually, yeah,
Wow.
in the wild, saw this channel, stumbled upon this channel. So I thought that's pretty cool. Edgar, I saw your channel in the wild last week when I was purchasing a Ryobi tool.
So did he influence you to purchase a Ryobi, whatever it was? What was it again?
Yeah, I would say, I'm not sure. I wanted one, and I just wanted to see what one looked like, you know, so I was already sold on it. But definitely, you know, this is a good definition. Now, this is good and bad, right? So when we say niche down, you know, 2 inches wide and a mile deep, and really have a channel focus, this is a channel focus. The problem with this specific channel focus is I actually know that in the America, at least, Ryobi has an exclusive with Home Depot. You can't even really buy, besides aftermarket, you can't even really buy this on Amazon, Ryobi, here in America. So the problem is he's so brand specific. I'm not even sure he can make commissions off of Ryobi in America. So, you know, I would say that electric power tools would be a phenomenal niche to be in, because more and more Americans and across the world are I have an electric lawnmower. I have all my tools in my shed are electric now, because I wanted to get away from gas. So I think it's a great place to be in. My question to you, and what I wonder is, are you actually too niche? I know I don't think I've ever said this before, Rob, but that's my fear and my question.
You see, I had a bit of an opposite opinion of this, in that they've niched down, they're becoming the authority. Hell, Jeremy found one of your videos completely outside of a channel audit world. I almost look at this and think, wow, could this channel potentially be making a significant amount of affiliate income, or are you like an ambassador, a partner of Ryobi, and like it's one of those small channels making a sizable income? Now there is the argument, of course, yes, that maybe if you put all of your eggs into one basket, one bad video that means that Ryobi don't want to be associated with you could kill your channel, or if a company goes under or something along those lines, there is always that worry. But what I also see here, Jeremy, is these occasional videos that talk about other products. Like this one here, like, is top 5 reasons you should buy a Ryobi over a Bauer Hercules. Now, at least they're bringing in other products and companies, and another one here where I think it's comparing 2 drills from different manufacturers, and those videos seem to be powerful as well. They've got a healthy amount of views, so maybe that may be direction forward for the creator, is to start doing comparison videos versus what your audience is familiar with versus what the other competition is out there. Now, again, the question is, are you affiliated with Ryobi? Do you have to always promote products in a positive manner? That may be a question that you need to tackle. But I think in terms of a channel that's been going on for 6 months here, Jeremy, and has done maybe 25 videos. I mean, look at the views for these. They seem phenomenal, and it looks as if it's pretty much
phenomenal.
Organic growth from the engagement, certainly.
See, that's what I'm saying is do these all these videos, but also do all of their competitors' videos. I still think you would have that focus.
Yeah.
I just think like you wouldn't do any less Ryobi videos. You would just have more ability to do more.
So yeah,
and
maybe
the bigger term, electric weed eater, is probably bigger than Ryobi.
Yeah, so
electric weeder, Ryobi, model number, and review, and then you could do that for all products.
this philosophy of this is your home, your flagship content, but there's 20-30% of your content should be testing and bringing in these other tools from potentially rival companies. So I think a really interesting channel here, and one that's doing really well, Edgar, and congratulations on your success so far, and I can only see that continuing to improve. I mean, we haven't really looked here at the thumbnails too much, Jeremy. Is there too much text in these, or is there a bit of a lack of consistency? I think maybe just the video creator is going to improve 1% on their thumbnails every time. I just think, for example, this latest one is an example of not a great thumbnail because we can see the person, but I can't really see the product in this one. And then there are some live streams where it's just black on text. So maybe some tweaks
there is times where we don't recommend having the face, right? So if it's very specific to a product review, like the iPhone 10, you may be blurred in the background, but the iPhone should be the hero and you should be secondary. So there are times when our rules don't apply. So we're not always telling you to have the whites of someone's eyes. If it's about you, you should be the hero. If it's about a product, you should actually not be the hero. You should be secondary.
There you are, folks. That was Edgar Martinez. Right, what I'm going to do is take a quick break here so you can all refresh, but when we get back, I'm going to load up some more channels and we'll do a bit more channel auditing on vidIQ here. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and share this live stream with a video creator who may find it useful. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. If your YouTube channel is stuck in a rut, maybe it's time you gave it the vidIQ boost treatment. Still not convinced? Here's 10 reasons why you should.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com.
With vidIQ Boost, you have complete access to one of the most powerful marketing tools on YouTube, the channel audit. It will show you in a snapshot what's working on your channel, what isn't working on your channel, and all of those little things like titles, tags, and end screens that you need to fix. We also take the guesswork out of search engine optimization with our keyword suggestion tools. Knowing what people are searching for means you know what to include in your titles, tags, and descriptions, all of which you can add with a single click. With our competitor tracking tool, you can follow up to 20 channels working in the same video space as you. If their content is catching fire, chances are they're doing something right, and you need to add your own spin to the topic. One of our Boost exclusive tools is bulk SEO. This analyzes content you have already published and shows you how people are finding that content and how you can improve it further with keywords you're not even using. Have vidIQ do the work for you by alerting you through email with a list of videos that are trending based on your search criteria. If you see a trend blowing up, it's time to ride that wave for massive channel growth. Want to quickly post videos natively on Facebook rather than YouTube links? Our syndication tool can do that for you in just a few easy clicks. Through subscriber analysis, you can discover what your fans do when they're not watching you. This can help you discover new video topics and channels of interest, as well as understanding when your subscribers are online, so you know the best time to publish your content. Have you ever wanted to know which channels covering similar topics to you are having viral moments, no matter how big or indeed how small the channel is? Our most viewed tool will help you uncover those hidden gems. With vidIQ Boost, you also get vidIQ Pro features as well, which include our titles, tags and descriptions translation tool, as well as the controversial keyword checker, saving you from possible demonetization flags. And while we're on the subject of upgrade banners and locked features and rocket icons you might have seen as a vidIQ free user, with vidIQ Boost, all of this goes away. You have complete access to every single one of our tools. Our support team is available and ready to answer your questions in the supported languages on screen now. Start boosting your channel today and let us educate you on your YouTube journey. All right, then let's get back onto this. Thank you for staying with us during the break. I've loaded up a few more channels here, and Jeremy, we're going to jump straight into this. If you are ready, can you see my screen? Please confirm.
Yep, I can.
Yes. So we're going to do. I pressed the wrong button there. Let's go back. I need to go to that button and then press that button. There we are. Quick audits. Kind of mess up that transition, but oh well. Let's start talking about some more channels here, and we're going to start with the gaming channels. We often jump into our quick fire section of channel audits. Bombu, I think Bombu, is that how you pronounce it? Bombo, who knows? This is a channel about gaming, I think, but it's also got some stuff about phones, PewDiePie versus T-Series stuff in there, and I'm going to ask a typical question here of a gaming channel. What is your channel ultimately about? Because you have Minecraft, you have a file name here, it looks like, for potentially a Fortnite game. How to win 25% of your Fortnite game. So it looks as if it's about Fortnite. Once we understand what the channel's about in terms of the game, what are you going to focus on within that niche of Fortnite? Because there are some channels which talk solely about how to get weapons. There are other channels that tell you how to do particular strategies and tactics, and there are other channels that tell you how to improve the performance of your gaming experience on Fortnite, and I can't see what your main focus is here. There's a couple of videos that stick out here. This one here that talks about Season 9 of Fortnite, so that's a bit more trending, and that has more views, but then there are other videos that tail off a little bit. Jeremy, thumbnail-wise, this is one of those channels where the thumbnails are of an acceptable standard, but in the gaming genre, thumbnails are of a very high standard, and we need somewhat 1% improvement there. Would you potentially agree?
Yeah, one thing I would say is the crap thumbnail is one of my favorite thumbnails I've ever seen. That's amazing. And the reason is it's going to stop people. One of your jobs as a creator is to stop people in their tracks. The problem with these thumbnails is if you go look at Fortnite thumbnails, this is what they all look like. Yeah. So as Seth Godin says, you need to be the purple cow. You need to stand out, and you need to be different than everyone else. So you can have some of the best thumbnails in the world, but if you look like everyone else, it's not going to work.
Jeremy, this one here is the purple crap. Is that not close enough?
I like it. It's because it's enough to be like, what? And that's really what you're trying to do. You're just trying to make people stop in their tracks and be like, what is going on here? Should I click on this? Is there enough intrigue?
So I think to say some underlining strategies here, Bombo Gaming, what is your game? What is the focus of your game? And then becoming, as Jeremy says, the purple cow, making people stop when they're scrolling down the search and seeing your thumbnail and going, ooh, this looks interesting. I'm going to click on this. Moving on here, we have this channel here, Jeremy, which looks really interesting in its channel name. I'm getting a bit of deja vu here. Have we looked at this channel before? Maybe, potentially. 3D print cosplay. So it looks as if it's a channel which is combining a relatively new form of technology, 3D printing, and trying to blend it with popular culture, which I think is always the perfect starting point for a potential channel to do well. What I feel a little bit is that some of these videos don't, the thumbnails at least, don't communicate that well enough. Just this one here. This doesn't look to me like a 3D printed version, almost because it's too good. So maybe we need to see thumbnails of the process in action, where you're seeing maybe a part of the helmet so you can recognize that it's from Power Rangers, but it's still in its printing phase. Because this to me maybe looks like it could be just a thumbnail almost from an Amazon product page. What do you think here, Jeremy?
Yeah, I would say that so first off, I would probably have something like 3D printed cosplay or 3D printing cosplay in every title.
In the title, yeah, that's so another good point.
You are the 2 inches wide and a mile deep in this, and put that in the beginning of the title, and just make your channel about 3D printing cosplay or 3D printed cosplay, whatever has the most search intent there. That's going to solve a lot of your issues, I believe, and that is a bigger term than a specific genre of cosplay. So it would be the primary philosophy would be those words, and then it would go into the movie or, TV series of cosplay. So I would definitely recommend doing that overall arching philosophy of key terms first. And then next, I would actually have things like fabric, or yeah, like something like that. Like that picture right there of like you spray painting it, or, it printing in the printer, something to where it looks like DIY. I think that's what's missing right now. And that is a perfect example of what I think Rob and I are both thinking should be the thumbnails.
Or you could have maybe two images, and this is almost like not the before, but in the middle of, and then the end, the payoff is that final image there. So you almost have like two helmets next to each other. But I think...
Yeah, the before and after. So like printing and then final. I think the before and after with like the fusion background, the green background would be amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think... just communicating that this is as Jeremy says, a DIY or a 3D printing aspect would be really powerful. And another thing I would just ask is maybe your timing of your content needs to be a little more in tune with search intent. For example, 2 or 3 months ago, you were doing all sorts of Power Ranger type of cosplay, but what was trending 2 or 3 months ago was the Avengers in particular, and Game of Thrones. So I think it would have been much more appropriate to create that kind of content. And Spider-Man's coming up in a couple of weeks. That may be another avenue.
Cosplay channels, the biggest ones, usually use trending topics to work better. And I would say that's correct. I've seen a lot of cosplay channels. Some of the biggest ones do a very good job with forecasting what's coming out and actually putting out those videos before they get big, but not too early, or they won't make it.
So here's an example of one. So you did a video of a Spider-Man one for Infinity Wars, but that was 6 months ago. So that was that would have been in December. Which, again, maybe that was in tune with the trailer. But I'm thinking to hit that trend, it probably would have been better to be released the beginning of April, middle of April, 2 or 3 weeks before the Avengers hit the cinemas. So just, tying in the cultural phenomenons that are trending with your 3D printing skills, which are clearly phenomenal. I mean, these all look like products you could buy in a toy store, from my opinion. Some potential there. We just need to do a bit of a tweaking of the thumbnails and the titles to communicate what your channel is actually about and who may be searching for that particular content at a particular time of the year. These are supposed to be quick audits, and we're not doing a very good job. So let's try and speed up a little bit here. Jeremy, let's take a look at this one. I'm going to let you lead with this one with Leroy's. I don't know what your username is, but you have 500 subscribers and what looks to be phenomenal thumbnails.
Yeah, I would just say right now, this looks like a channel with 1 million subscribers. And the reason for there is consistency, not necessarily with color, but the size of the faces. You're having emotion, YouTuber faces, the whites of eyes. You have enough visual information to make it interesting. This would be, in my opinion, something like, I call this the TikTok generation. We used to call this other platforms, but now those are all gone. But this is kind of like the TikTok philosophies. What I see wrong is grilling a sock for Bionic Pig has no search intent.
Where on earth is that one?
The very first one.
Okay, right, okay, yeah. Here we go. Grilling a sock for Bionic Pig.
Another thing is it's been YouTube has suggested not to do all caps. Now, there are channels that I've advised in the past that do all caps that do quite well. I just wonder long-term if it's a good strategy, or if you're yelling, or if they were going to consider it spam. So I would be careful. I would do caps on 1 or 2, like socks and Bionic Pig maybe, but I wouldn't personally do caps for all things, just looking at future strategies of not being considered spam on YouTube. Secondly, I would just say that you're going to have to find search intent on YouTube. If you really want to make it as a small channel, anyone that has 100,000 plus subscribers can make any title they want. That has nothing to do with it because they're a community and they have a lot of history of YouTube suggesting their videos. So it's just going to kind of happen algorithmically. But the problem is when you're a small channel, by putting search intent in there, it'll be better. So like best funny skits or TikTok skits or something, top 10 TikToks of 2019, something that makes people, what people are searching for, is what I would add to your titles.
All right then, so good luck with your channel, and I kind of hope and feel that maybe just one of these videos is going to click on YouTube and it's going to give you the exposure that clearly your thumbnails deserve, if nothing else, for the channel. We're going to now look at the Clark Crew. Looks to be a very new channel here on YouTube. Welcome to YouTube. You're a month old, and it looks to be a channel charting the story of your as of yet unborn baby, I think, here. And yeah, Jeremy, looks as if this channel's already got some traction here. First video got 500 views, which is awesome in itself. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many channels, when they make their first videos, maybe get 5 to 10 views. This one's already got 500, and consistency here. A few jumping into the one here with 3,000 views, which is brilliant. I'm not sure what to suggest here, Jeremy, other than continue to improve 1%, find some consistency with thumbnails. But it looks as if you've already nailed down the story and the journey that you're going to tell. Where else does this video creator go?
So one thing I would say is twin videos can do very, very well. People are very intrigued, especially in America, with twins.
Okay.
One of my friends that lives a few miles from here, his twins have 6 million subscribers. And honestly, from day one, they did very well because people just were intrigued by twins. So they're obviously some of the bigger YouTubers, you know, on the big side of the YouTubing game. But I would just say that really study twin YouTube channels, see which ones are succeeding and why they're succeeding, and understand that moving forward, this channel may turn into your twins channel, like when they turn 13 or something, or it's the family journey of them growing up. But there is something very specific and kind of strange about people just interested in twins because they are rare. And that's where I'd kind of go all in on. I would actually focus the journey on the twins themselves, that key term.
I was just looking at this one with the most views and wondering if there was any interesting questions that came out of that video, but I couldn't find any. And that just might be an idea for generating clues. I thought some people might have some specific pre-pregnancy clothes questions, but that didn't seem to be the case. And you did part 1. Where is part 2? Or I guess my question would be, because that video did really well, doubling down on that one as soon as possible would have been a good avenue to go on. But congratulations on your early success, and we obviously hope that the pregnancy goes well. And if they are boys, we're going to suggest Rob and Jeremy as the names.
Exactly. And one weird tip.
Hold on. Is this safe, Jeremy?
Yeah, it's safe. Twins 3D ultrasound is a huge term where you actually show like what the ultrasounds, 3D or 2D ultrasounds look like.
Yeah.
So that's actually a pretty big term. So that might be something you want to do.
Look at these thumbnails. These are
people are intrigued by twins. It's a weird and neat thing, you know, and I think that this shows, I mean, there's a lot of search intent and a lot of views on that topic. All right.
Next one we're going to look at here is STEM. You've hidden your subscriber count, which requires this sound effect. Why have you done that? It always raises questions, potentially suspicion. I understand why people do it, because maybe they feel as if when somebody sees that a channel's only got a few subscribers, then their videos have no value. But when a channel has an unknown number of subscribers, that just always raises that eyebrow, irrespective of how many you have. It is about free games then. So is this a channel about free games that you can play on various types of platforms? That might be helpful to communicate that. And then looking at your content, we've got one on Lego, how to hack something on another game, the first 40 minutes of a gameplay on a game. I would say this channel, you just need to decide on your focus, really. Some of your videos, like sort by most popular, like this one got 350 views versus everything else, which had about 10% of those views. That could be somewhere where you could continue to push forward. And I'm seeing some non-custom thumbnails here in some of these, the way you've just taken screenshots. Even this one here, which has the arrow pointing to something, is better than just having a non-custom screenshot. Jeremy, anything to add here, or just one of these video creators that's trying to find their feet on the channel, on YouTube, and they're in the hustle stage trying to understand how things go?
Yeah, there's a lot of intelligence behind this channel, installing elementary OS and VMware, slow performance. I mean, there's clearly a lot of work that's been involved in this. So I would say just keep on going, find your focus, and don't give up.
We're moving into this is not a gaming one actually, but I think we've got some more gaming channels coming up. Music channel, Jeremy, one of our favourite ones, as I certainly struggle to make the best suggestions for music channels. It's Mondo Loops here. I think one thing, of course, is maybe change the channel banner to a non-Galaxies style background so we can see what your channel's a bit more about a bit more with a value proposition. Looking at the thumbnails, it looks to be like riffs and chords from maybe particular songs or an educational aspect to them.
It's mostly just genres of music. So lo-fi hip hop is currently pretty much the biggest term in music.
Right.
One of the biggest terms in music. Chill Cow has got millions and millions of subs, and they rank #1 in the world for the word lo-fi. Lo-fi is just a term people are searching for when they're looking for relaxing and chill and study music. And it is a monster term. So I love the direction you're heading with this, like doing terms that are extremely viral and, extremely trending right now.
If you look at, I was just going to say, Jeremy, if you look at each of these videos which have lo-fi very simply as the starting keyword, 700 views, 600, 1,000
for a small channel with 200 subs. That's huge.
Yeah.
So I would say keep on going with lo-fi. Just keep on going with it. And honestly, you're going to have to figure out what people are searching for within lo-fi. So another thought I have is to string all of your lo-fi songs together and make an actual, like song for lo-fi. But Chill Cow has 3 million subscribers. Like last year, they had like not even 1 million. And if you notice, they're all live. So I will say, if you really want to become a huge YouTube channel, you're going to have to find a way to go live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with your music. And for some reason, YouTube is preferencing channels that are live with lo-fi and hip hop and chill and relax type of music. So no guarantee you'll do well, but I would say that if you want to take kind of a risk and just really try to get big, music should be live in 2019 on YouTube. That's my humble opinion.
And I think there's obviously improvements you could probably add to the thumbnails as well. I'm trying to pick out maybe which is the best one, perhaps this thumbnail.
Personally, I like the very last one, the orange and purple.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yeah. I don't like the text on it. I wouldn't have any text there, but I do like that one.
Okay. So
it's creative.
I would go for this one, me personally, but obviously it's all subjective in terms of the thumbnails. Maybe just focusing a lot more on the chords that you're playing, perhaps on that one. But yeah, there's 2 options there for improving thumbnails.
And you might want to do how to create lo-fi beats or something like that, because lo-fi is so big. I'm guessing people are trying to learn how to do it.
Next channel is Nub Ghost. Congratulations on hitting over 100 subscribers, and it looks as if your channel focus is Scum. I assume that's a video game and you're not just randomly labeling people on Earth as Scum. Yeah, it looks as if it's a game to me. So I'm just noticing some interesting likes and dislikes, but there's not a huge sample size there to really gauge too much what's going on there. So I think you know your channel focus, which is brilliant for a gaming channel. My next question is maybe sort by the most popular for these scum games, and is there one particular topic that you've covered there which people have reacted to better, and maybe focus on that. And this one here, new patch notes, so you were looking at a trending or a news story within that game, which was really good, got more views, and I think you should continue to do that. Thumbnail wise, Jeremy, I think one criticism would be is that we're drawn very much to the title of the game, and we're not really thinking about perhaps the focus of the video itself, because the thumbnails don't do a good enough job of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right.
And yeah, I'm just noticing here as well, every time you do a video on like patch notes and upgrades, you get a bit of a boost in your views. So I think definitely looking at the new and developing stories in that game is where you're going to find success. So good luck with your channel as you continue to grow it. And yeah, I think there's some potential there if this game is popular and you can continue to capitalize on it. Jeremy, I'll let you lead with this one. It is I'm True Skills. I think 250 subscribers, gaming and comics. We looked at a gaming and comic channel earlier on, but what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I mean, 200 subscribers. There are definitely some bad words in the titles or thumbnails rather. There's just a lot going on. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what the channel's about now.
I see the words you're looking at now. Yeah, probably should scroll that one off screen.
So yeah, I mean, you have X-Men, you have bad words, you have games. I mean, there's just so much going on here. I don't even know what the channel's about anymore.
It looks a little bit looks to do with comics, and you're focusing on the X-Men ones, and it looks as if you have some fairly polarizing opinions on these videos because you've got some pretty high dislikes. So maybe that might be something to look at in terms of your content overall. And yeah, I guess maybe we should move on if there's some inappropriate content on there. So we'll have a look at Black Chinny, a gaming channel with over 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations to you on that success. And I can see that as well as a video about the best steaks, eggs and waffles ever, you look at Rocket League predominantly with your content, and it seems to be doing okay. I am noticing maybe a bit of what I sometimes call thumbnail wallpaper, where you use maybe a template backdrop and then change the text or change an arrow. And these days, thumbnails have got to be a bit more sophisticated than that. Each one has to stand on its own 2 feet and tell a different story with each one. Jeremy, we can see the gaming focus here. Is there anything else that we can maybe pick up here? The channel has 1,000 subscribers. Let me just sort by most popular and see if this channel has pivoted from a previous game, and that's maybe where the drop in views has been, or it's because they used to be a fishing channel maybe, and now they've switched to gaming.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to do your thing and figure out what you want in life. If you really want to be a gamer, it's definitely probably the most saturated, or if not close to the most saturated market in YouTube. It is definitely the hardest thing to stand out on. If millions and millions of people are YouTube gamers, then what makes you different? You have to find your tribe. You have to find people that are like you, that believe in what you believe in. So it's very difficult to stand out in gaming. Fishing, there's fishing channels doing very well right now.
Lots of fishing channels. We've covered a lot, haven't we, in our auditing life? All right, so that was the final channel that we are auditing today. I just want to say thank you very much to every single one of you who submitted a channel. We'll do a final count here. Jeremy, how many channels do you think submitted for audit this week?
150.
269. We got through around about 15 of them, so that is a challenge that faces us every single week. So we do apologize if you did not get your channel audited today, but hopefully through the general tips, trips and advice that Jeremy and I have been able to give you, that should help you grow your channel. I want to say goodbye to the following people who've been watching this live stream throughout. They include Magdalena Helen, one of our moderators. Thank you very very much. This Bites for You also moderating today, and Travis. And also, Ramiz Should, Allspark TV, Techlin is in the house, Slavgard. Jeremy Vest is also in the house posting on the chat, so goodbye to Jeremy Vest there. Also, goodbye to King Sayang YT. It's great to see many of you who come back to the live stream every single week, even if your channel hasn't been audited or if you haven't been audited yet. I really appreciate the time that you spend with us. Jeremy, anyone else we're saying goodbye to here in our final moments?
Sure. To Lily Lifeladder, Mr. Nemo Stash, Imran, and it's going really fast, Captain Mario Dude, and Sam.
The Daily Snail, we've got Emrit Lego, and we've got Mooks. All of you, thank you very much for spending what I always say is the most important currency in the world with us, and that is time. You cannot get it back. I hope you found the time that you spent with us very useful, and remember that when you are making your videos, that you are sharing something that is of value and importance, and use everybody's time effectively. If you enjoyed this live stream, make sure to give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already yet subscribed to vidIQ, make sure to do so, because we publish videos, wow, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Our next live stream is Wednesday. Tomorrow, Liron will be taking you through the vidIQ tools. If you haven't downloaded the tools yet, link in the description. Make sure you're all set up, and Liron will give you the best tour of our tools that you can find. And on Thursdays, we do live Q&A, where we take any question from you about YouTube, your channel, or vidIQ, and we will answer it to the best of our ability. Jeremy, it has been an honor and a privilege as always, and we will see you if you are going to VidCon in around about a month's time. We are preparing for that now, where you could get a channel audited by us in person. So if you are going, make sure to find the booth, but we'll give you more information about that in a couple of weeks. Jeremy, say goodbye. It's time to leave our audience until tomorrow. Bye
everyone.
Now.